Kids Playground.
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Hey everybody, what's good? Welcome back to the podcast this week. I'm your host, Deron Harris, and this is the Deron Harris Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it. How you feeling? Hopefully everybody's doing good. I know we got some things coming up here in a couple minutes, man, that's about to really shake the country up, and I know a lot of people are stressing it, and with good reason. 42 million Americans who depend on food assistance are about to lose their benefits. On November 1st, 42 million people are going to lose food assistance. Let me rephrase that. 42 million men, women, and children are about to go hungry. Wait. Let me say that one more time. 42 million Americans, people, citizens of the United States are about to be left to starve. Did you hear me? I mean, because it really sounds like a fucking, like we are like careening off the fucking cliff here in the United States. I mean, our government is essentially trying to drown 42 million of its own citizens. And you ask yourself, why? Why would you want to do some shit like that? And I don't have a fucking answer. I mean, I do. You know, it's obvious. You know, there's a couple of answers. You know, it's racism and classism. That's all it is. It's nothing. Let's not go any deeper than that. Let's not try and fucking complicate it. It's racism and classism. That's what it is. And I know behind these things, you know, a lot of people are going to suffer. So that's what I'm talking about today on the podcast. But first, like I do every single week, I want to check in on people mentally because I know, especially something like this, you know, I mean, man, I know some people that are probably going through it. I myself, you know, I like I said, I suffer from depression and anxiety, and you know, I'm not necessarily in a depressed state right now, but you know, I mean, my anxiety senses is tingling hard. There's a lot going on here. I'm getting ready to travel here myself in a few days. Right now, I'm in New York. But I'll be traveling back to, you know, a state that relies heavily on food assistance. And that same state, Florida, also just made open carry. You know, you can open carry your weapon in Florida now. So I'm a little worried. People are like, oh, you might be over enough. Fuck that. Motherfuckers always overreacting until they get shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers always think a motherfucker overreacting until that motherfucker gets shot the fuck down. And then what do they say? Oh, he did always talked about something. Yeah, trying to tell your ass about it, who kept saying you overreacting. Maybe you're not reacting enough. Maybe you're underreacting to this. Because this is something definitely that people are concerned with and will be concerned with. So I just want to encourage everybody out there who is feeling up against the wall, or like time is running out, or the ground is falling from underneath you, or life itself is crumbling around you. I just want to let you know that there are people out there that are professionals. They are trained to help you, and they are willing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are some people out there. You know, I'm not a real big, you know, I'm not going to tell anybody, you know, not to go get help. I'm always going to say, take care of yourself, because the storm is coming as it starts to rain here. I'm sitting here under a tree, and it's starting to rain. But there is a storm coming, and I know that there are some people who are recognizing that, and they are feeling some type of way about it. Maybe you can't concentrate. Maybe you have some sort of insomnia. There are people out there that care, and there are people out there that still want to help people that have mental issues. Okay, so don't do me a favor and don't deny yourself that help. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, we are going to jump right into it. All right, I'm Deron Harris. This is my podcast. I'll be right back.
The podcast playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
All right, so today I'm talking about losing SNAP benefits, man. 42 million Americans are about to, or citizens of the United States, because I think we're rapidly losing the privilege to call ourselves Americans. This is just shit. 42 million citizens of our country are about to be left to starve. And the funny part about that is a lot of his supporters thought that this was not going to hurt them specifically. This wasn't going to hurt them at all. But it turns out that a lot of the people that support this administration, they receive SNAP benefits. And you're starting to see memes all over the place of people pleading, "Oh, please hear our cries." I don't want to laugh. I mean, I do, but I really don't, because it's sad. It's fucking pathetic. I mean, how far have we fallen from the mission statement? We have turned our focus away from the American people, and the American people have turned their focus into a person who, for lack of a better phrase, he don't give a fuck about us, man. And it's obvious. It's blatantly obvious. It's blatantly obvious. Here you have cattle farmers losing money, but this motherfucker going over here on some buying cattle from Argentina or something like that. I think it was Argentina. I think it's Argentina. Going to give him like $40 billion or something like some crazy number about the cattle. Meanwhile, we got motherfucking cattle here, but they make up all kinds of excuses, all like the disease and all that. Nah, shut the fuck up. You're helping out your fucking buddies, is what it is. That's all that's going on. We're just fucking here while these people play on a game that is well beyond the level that we are on. But the funny part about it is we are actually pieces on the game board. Us, human beings. These people are playing Monopoly with our fucking lives for real. Let that sink in. As you get into your little truck and you drive your ass to work, or you get into your little car and you drive your ass to school or church or wherever, let that sink the fuck in, that you're a fucking game piece. That's what the fuck you are. You are not important. You are a game piece. Me, you, your whole fucking family. We are inconsequential to this administration. And it doesn't matter. Black, white, yellow, brown, it don't matter. We just don't fall into the class. And it does make it worse if you happen to be, black or brown. You do get it a little bit worse, but make no mistake about it, white folks. It's coming for y'all too. It's coming for y'all too. You know why? Because it's more white folks on public assistance than black folks. Just so y'all know. I mean, because you seem to not. I mean, a lot of people seem to continue to play that whole stereotype, the black welfare queen and all this shit, but it really isn't that. It really isn't that. And let's take a look at why that is in the first place. I mean, if you want to be mad at somebody, don't be mad at the ladies. Don't be mad at the welfare queens. Don't be mad at these ladies. Be mad at the system that said that they had to get rid of their fucking husband and have more kids, and then they would in the system would give them money to do that. And a place to live to do that. The system did that. And the reason the system did it is to break up black families. It was a plan. They did that shit on purpose, and at the same time, they demonized black men. They demonized black men. They criminalized everything they did. And that's where we are today. And you're not mad at the system that manipulated these people into this condition. That is bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And that's the thing. You want to be mad at these people for falling into a situation that they were oblivious that they were being put into. But you still want to hold them responsible for it. And I do get it. After a while, especially after you start learning the truth, then it becomes, your responsibility to try and help, dig yourself out of the hole. But they keep creating more fucking holes to fall in. They keep creating more obstacles to put in your way. Why? Because we are resilient. We do get over these hurdles. We do. We understand what is happening to us, and we put in place plans of actions to get ourselves out. We try and create empowerment within our community. But every single time some sort of legislation or some sort of smackdown happens and we're not able to execute. It's fucking, it makes me sick to my stomach that we sit here and, continue to participate in the belief system that has been laid out in front of us, even though it's been a blatant lie. They cut SNAP benefits for fucking already struggling fucking families. And let me just be clear, when they cut SNAP benefits, it's not just affecting poor black families, or immigrants. It's the whole country. Okay, it's not just the welfare receipt. It's the country who suffers. We all suffer because hunger doesn't just live in your empty ass refrigerator. It lives in healthcare systems. It lives in the classroom. It lives in our economy. And it lives in the soul of our nation that forgot how to care for its most vulnerable citizens. That's where hunger lives. If you ask me. So let's talk about your health for a few minutes, okay? So when people lose access to food, right? They don't stop eating. People ain't going to stop eating. But what happens is they just eat worse food. They eat cheaper food. They eat more processed food. They eat bullshit ass food. It'll fill your stomach. It'll make a fucking turd, but it ain't worth a damn for your body. And that's how we get more diabetes, more hypertension, more obesity. Do you see where I'm fucking going with this? You get kids in school that can't fucking focus. You get old people that get sicker. You get parents who work 2 and 3 jobs and still can't afford a motherfucking salad. Is what you fucking get. And that's everybody. It's not just the recipients. Because you know who pays for that, right? Everybody else. All of us. And we pay through higher costs of health care. And all that shit could have been avoided if we would have just ate a fucking decent meal. When you cut SNAP, you don't fucking save money. You just move the food bill to the motherfucking hospital bill. That's all you do. That's all you fucking doing. You ain't helping nobody. You just moving bills around. You feel me? So now, let's talk about the economy for a second. Most folks don't realize this, but every dollar of that SNAP generate, every SNAP dollar spent, it generates about $1.50, $1.80, sometimes more in local economic activity. That's groceries, that's delivery drivers, that's like warehouse workers, farmers, and all them fucking people get paid. When you pull that dollar out, when you cut them SNAP dollars out, small towns, little small rural towns, them little towns down there, y'all gonna feel that shit first because the stores close. All your jobs go the fuck away. You cannot starve people and expect the economy to stay full. You can't do it. It just don't make no fucking sense. It don't work like that. And then there's home, man. And then there's at your motherfucking house. Just the idea of just having a house. Because I'll tell you what, man, and this is so true. A family that has to choose between food and rent, they usually lose both. Hunger and homelessness are not separate stories. They are not. They are chapters in the same book, if you want to say. And every fucking page costs taxpayers more in shelters, more in policing, and more in emergency aid. SNAP cuts, they don't save us money, man, but they damn sure cost motherfuckers their humanity, I'll tell you that. They damn sure do, man. You just see it in people's face. You just see it in people's face. Yeah, this shit is about to go away. Yeah, get the welfare queens, yeah. So much hate. And it's and it's being fueled. It's being fueled on purpose. I just saw about right before I started my podcast, I was scrolling for some reason. I need to stop that shit. But I'm scrolling. I see I'm on Reddit, and I see what turned out to be an AI rendition of this. Now, it was a Fox reporter. It was a black woman, and in the microphone, Fox said Fox, and it was a black woman, and she said, yeah, I get about $2,500 worth of food stamps, and I sell it for about $1,200 cash. And she said, well, there you have it. There's a couple of things wrong with that. The major thing that's wrong with it is it's AI depicting something. It's artificial. It's not real. That's the first problem I have with it. But the second problem that I have with it is the way that it was framed. It's framed like this is only a black community issue, and it's everybody's community issue. Everybody fucking sells their fucking food stamps, because it most definitely happens, but everybody sells their fucking food stamps. Everybody, black folks, white folks, Latin folks, Indian folks, anybody who receives food stamps, these motherfuckers sell them. Period. Convince me they don't. You be lying to your fucking self and everybody else around you. Now, the next thing that kind of upset me about the whole fucking thing is the fact that this girl is out here on the news apparently telling on herself. Why the fuck tell on yourself? And that's how you knew that this is generated. This is something that is generated to promote more division between the races, to promote more hate, to justify racism, to justify the demonization of people. Because if you can demonize somebody, then you can justify brutal treatment of those people. That's what they're setting up. That is what they're setting up, you guys. Just so you know. This right here, and on top of that, there's all kinds of other memes. Please be careful with the propaganda out here, because really, it is out here brainwashing the shit out of weak-minded motherfuckers. Simple as that. These motherfuckers are out here getting Jedi mind tricked by all these social media platforms. You got to figure out what to fucking watch out for. Well, what about you, Deron? Well, that's the thing. I fucking sit down and I take time to read through multiple sources before I jump on here and say any motherfucking thing about any motherfucking thing. Instead of reacting. People just react. They see one thing and all of a sudden it's a fucking problem. People are going to look at this meme and say, this chick is out here fucking, this bitch ain't even fucking real. But what it's depicting, what it's framing, is that Black America abuses the system. And they need to be curtailed, and they need to be governed and policed. That's exactly what it is. We have got to stop buying into this shit. And not for nothing, not only not buying into it, but calling it out whenever we see it. And I'm talking about, white folks, if you down with this too, you too. You too. Because your silence is complicity. Just so you know. If you may not be a racist, that's cool. But if you don't say nothing, that's just as, you might as well be participating. You got to say something. That's the only way this shit stops. Because white folks, they don't give a fuck about what the fuck black folks say. But you know who they care about what the fuck? White folks. White folks give a fuck about what other white folks say. You know how I know? Look at them. Look. They give a fuck. They give a fuck about what other white folks say. What they don't give a fuck is about what the fuck other minorities say. Or if there's too many. If a bunch of white folks hanging around a bunch of black folks, they're not really going to listen. But if it's a bunch of white folks, they ain't got no fucking choice. They're not going to hose a bunch of white folks down the street. They're not going to do that. It looks bad.
The Podcast Playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
I'm back. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about education. All right, we're going to talk about education for just a second. I want you to imagine you in school, right? You was in school and they teaching long division today, but you didn't eat this morning. I want you now to try to read this paragraph that they in chapter 12 when you didn't eat dinner last night. And then after that, I want you to get up and come try to work out this problem on the board when your stomach is screaming so loud they think you a motherfucking ventriloquist. The fact is, it's hungry kids, all right? They test lower. They act out more. They drop out faster. But maybe that's what they want. And I'll tell you what, when those kids grow up, what do they call them? They call them unskilled labor, or even worse, prisoner. But they were never any of these things. They were just hungry, not fed. And this is what I'm talking about. This country is allowing children to go hungry in order to create a class of people to either be incarcerated or do bullshit labor jobs. You want to be relegated to that? Now I'm talking to all the people out there who voted for this administration. Do you want that for yourself or your children? Is that what you want? Because it's you who's going to lose, I'm talking to the people losing their benefits. I'm talking to the people that voted to lose their own fucking benefits. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you hoped for yourself? Is that what you hoped for this administration? No. This is not what you hoped for yourself. This is what you hoped for fucking me and people that look like me. This is what you hoped for us. But sorry to inform you. Actually, I'm not sorry to inform you. I'm quite happy to inform you that your bitch ass is going to get swept up in this as well. And I have no fucking sympathy for you at all. Not even a little bit. I mean, you could break out the little tiniest violin you could fucking find. And I just don't. Nope, I don't give a fuck. Nope. Not even a little bit. When it comes to fucking morality, this is a whole nother issue. People having actual, their morale, where their morality is. SNAP isn't just a fucking food program, man. It's a statement. It says that we care about our fucking people. We take care of each other when we're down. That's what the fuck it says. That's what the fuck it really says. That's what SNAP benefits say, that when one of us falls, we will help you get back to a place where you can survive, where you can thrive. You don't have to starve. You don't have to worry about that. But now that is gone. When we cut it, we say the exact opposite. We say, if you're hungry, it's your motherfucking fault. And that message, I mean, it just fucking seeps into goddamn everything, into politics, into the fucking church, and even how we treat our neighbors, man. It's fucking stupid. You can't build like a fucking moral country when everybody's fucking hungry as fuck around here. Motherfuckers is starving. Motherfuckers letting people starve. How the fuck you up here moral? Talk about morality. Talk about you follow the teachings of Jesus. Get the fuck out my face. It's so fucking crazy to sit up here and watch you motherfuckers dance around like you were right. And I'll tell you what, if there was a Jesus and he come, you motherfuckers are on, like Eddie Murphy said, you motherfuckers are taking the Hell Express. Motherfuckers go headed straight to hell. Straight to hell. You motherfuckers are like first class on the first thing smoking. Straight to hell. I mean, it's so fucking crazy, man. And let's listen. And let's not forget about our national security. Okay? Well, how does that affect our, cutting SNAP affect our national security? Okay, well, let's check this out. You can't defend the country if your soldiers are too sick or too poor, too malnourished to serve. And I didn't know if you folks realized that or not, but there's quite a few active duty families that rely on SNAP right now, today. Approximately 22,000 active duty service members. Their households rely on SNAP. The National Guard, it's 213,000 of them. 213,000 National Guard Reserve families have SNAP. That's quite the truth, isn't it? Our soldiers, America's very defenders, also depend on America to have some fucking compassion for them. That's pathetic. These kids are out here laying their lives out here, and now, I don't know how long they're going to be able to float the bill for the motherfucking military, but in a minute they're going to not get paid, and then they're not going to be able to fucking eat. And you want to tell me how these motherfuckers care? Motherfuckers is backwards. I mean, backwards. Oh my God, man. When we cut SNAP, like, we not only starve like the poor, we starve their families. We starve we literally jeopardize our own safety and the safety of our country by starving our troops and their families. Why are we fucking hurting ourselves? It's like picking our own scabs. It's like popping our own stitches. Or as your grandfather would say, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's exactly what the fuck we're doing. It's so fucking crazy. It's so fucking ridiculous. I know plenty of families that are receiving benefits. I know plenty of people that are worried about whether or not they're going to be able to feed their kids. And you couple that with people getting snatched up off the street and taken to God knows where. And I just want to know, man, how is this great? How is this great? Like I said earlier, and I can't take credit for the phrase. My producer, really kind of, just kind of muttered it to me. How can we are rapidly losing our privilege of calling ourselves Americans. We are hurting, and we are stumbling, And we are falling the fuck down. And we are smiles. All these people losing their fucking, in certain cases, their fucking lifeline. But we're building a fucking ballroom. a ballroom. A ballroom, y'all. So that they can dance around. And they can celebrate. And they can have lavish meals. And they can drink the best champagne. And have the most comfortable surroundings. And the most decadent environment. While the rest of us sit out here and squalor. And fight amongst ourselves about things that really aren't important, like racism. And it's so sad. It's sad. It's sad to see how many people don't realize that this is happening, that this is what's going on, that this is what they're being used for. But even sadder than that is the amount of people who realize it and still contribute anyway. The same people who champion the same thing. These people out here in these masks. These people up here in these government seats. How they can sit there and look down on us. It used to be a day where the government worked for us. Remember that? Wasn't too long ago. There used to be a day where the government worked for us. The people of the United States, it worked for us. It's not that way anymore. Those days are slipping away from us. You know, like sands in an hourglass. I mean, one by one. And just as easy. And just as slowly. And that's why we sit here complicit. Because we are conditioned. We have been conditioned to relax. We've been conditioned to take it easy. We've been conditioned to not be alarmed, to not expect the worst, to not question authority, to not speak your voice. We are being conditioned into subjugation. And there's no one who is really standing up or has the backbone to do anything about it. I've lost every shred of faith in the Democratic Party. Every shred of faith, because at the end of the day, let's just be honest, they're just as racist. They're just not, they're covert about it. The difference is conservatives are openly racist and liberals are covertly racist. And it boils down to race and it boils down to class. Every single time, every single thing in this country always has. And until something or somebody comes along and says enough is enough, it always will be. I'm one person, and I try the hardest I can to speak out about injustices here in our country. And, it's hurting people daily. And it just seems that nobody in government really cares enough to come to anyone's aid, but instead, they pull back whatever life raft that, certain members of society here are on. And I just want to say it's one of the most perilous times in American history, in our history. It's one of the most uncertain and unsure times in our history. And, I am, I don't want to be a fear monger, but I am quickly losing faith in everything around us. My wife and I are still, as happy-go-lucky as we are, we still have absolutely zero faith that this whole, project that we call the United States is going to continue to work out. Because something has got to give. There's going to be some pushback. There is going to be some violence. And this right here is a move. This is another carefully planned move to bait us. This is a move, and this might be checkmate right here, guys, because I'll tell you why. Hungry people do desperate shit. They do desperate shit. They do so much desperate shit when you are hungry. And they'll go out here and they'll commit whatever crime they need to commit, and that's all they're looking for. That's all they're looking for is a reason and a way to put you in the box. And what better way than to starve you? To try our best to starve you. This party is literally trying its best to starve its own citizens to death. Let that sink in, man. I mean, really, don't just, dance over that. How in the fuck did we get here? Who opened the door for this? Who let it permeate and persist? And who accepted it? Because it sure wasn't me. I do not accept this. And I like I said, all I have is this podcast, but this is my voice. This is the voice that I have. To however many people it reaches or however many people it doesn't, this is the voice that I have. This is my effort. This is my effort against the system. This is my effort against what's going on versus these people. Because it's not humane. It's terrible to watch people get dragged down the street, and it's equally as terrible to watch people starve to death. And then it's equally as terrible to turn around and go, this is my country. I'm going to take another break. When I come back, I'm going to wrap it up.
The Podcast Playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Cut and snap is not. It is not the fiscally responsible thing to do. It is actually what it is. It is moral bankruptcy, is what it is. It does not help us. It raises healthcare costs. It shrinks local economies. It weakens schools. It pushes families into the streets. It tears holes in the moral fabric that is supposed to hold us together. We're not supposed to let each other fall by the wayside. We're supposed to stand with each other in our most dark of times, in our most vulnerable of times. We are supposed to hold each other's hand when we don't think that we can go on anymore. But it looks like now that we cannot no longer count on our government to look out for the best interest of its citizens. We just can't. It seems that things are very conditional here, and I don't know, how long families will be able to sustain. I don't know how long the country will be able to stay intact once people start starving, for lack of a better phrase or better word. I wish it wouldn't have come to this, and I wish it doesn't come to this, or it didn't come to this. I really do. And just for the record, I don't care. We have so much money in this country. We print money. What difference does it make if some of it goes to help less fortunate people? Because, unfortunately, with capitalist society, you always have a class of the less fortunate. I'm one of the less fortunate. I'm down here. I'm not far from food assistance. Let's just be real. Just real fucking talk, man. So many of us are. So many people that you think are well-to-do. So many of these people need assistance. And the fact that our government has revoked all of that just, points me to the man. the destruction of the United States as we know it. This is no longer the same place, ladies and gentlemen. We are no longer in Kansas. So I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Deron Harris Podcast. Think about this today, folks. Think about this today. There are ways that we can help. The people that are, have a little bit more, we can't help people that are less fortunate. We can share. If you make a little bit extra food, take it to that less fortunate family. If you grow vegetables in your backyard, take a couple of bushels of something over to that less fortunate family. If you know how to farm and garden, teach somebody how to farm and garden. There are ways around this. It's hard work. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be rewarding. And the most rewarding part about it is we're not going to need the system to do it. You feel me? So I want to thank my parents for giving me the mouthpiece and the brain. I want to thank my wife for being my most loyal and favorite fan. I want to thank my best friend and producer, Jesse Yandel, for being lights out every single week and, helping me jog my brain about this type stuff. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for the platform, and I want to thank my listeners. Last but not least, I want to thank all of you guys out there for listening to the Deron Harris Podcast, because without you, there wouldn't really even be a podcast. And I hope that I'm giving you guys better content. I'm really trying as hard as I can, and I do thank you. And to all the families out there, keep your chin up, y'all. Keep your chin up. And my mother has a church. I'll be seeing her in a couple of days, and in my own community, I'm going to do what I can to see about what we can do to help feed some people that might be struggling. So until next week, folks, go out there, stock up on some groceries, and get ready to hunker down, y'all. Okay? Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.